Oh man, Last of Us 1. Just the ending. It's still being talked about to this day. The game released in 2013. It is a legendary game for sure. One of my favorite PlayStation games ever. And man, I definitely want to make a video talking about the ending of The Last of Us 1. I played The Last of Us 1 probably 3 times already. I really want to play it again. And I also watched the TV show of season 1 of The Last of Us. So definitely a huge Last of Us fan. I just want to say, dang, the ending, when this first came out, when I first played Last of Us 1 back in 2013, it blew me away. I was shocked. I was feeling all types of emotions. I was just surprised at everything that happened at this ending. So Last of Us 1, honestly, this has so much context now that Last of Us 2 is here. And then you understand the events now because of the second game. And then the ending, honestly, the ending of Last of Us 1 is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Probably one of the best endings in a video game I've seen. So let's just talk about it. So Joel, he basically was fighting through the whole Fireflies, killing everyone up in that hospital so he could save Ellie, because Ellie apparently is the cure for the zombie virus, right? And they were trying to see if they can get the cure from her. But if you killed her, that basically means you get the cure, or maybe you don't, they don't know, but she has to die in order for the cure to happen. And then Joel doesn't want to do that because he doesn't want to lose another daughter, because in the beginning of The Last of Us he loses his daughter, and then Ellie is sort of like his second daughter, and he doesn't want to lose that again. And then you can see like the anger, like the frustration in Joel. Like he wants to save his daughter no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're shooting at him or they're trying to kill him. Like he wants to save his daughter. That is number one priority. And honestly, Joel is a good father for that. He is a great father figure because he wants to protect his daughter no matter what. Now, the question is, what Joel did, was it right? Well, if in a father's perspective, if I was a father and that was my daughter and they're trying to surgery prep her, and then she dies, hell no. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna let them do that shit. I would do the same thing as Joel. And some things will say like, oh, Joel's kind of selfish for doing that. He could have had the cure for all of humanity. But if you look at it as a father's perspective, right? Like Joel really wanted to protect his kid. And a father is going to protect his kid no matter what. No matter what circumstance. So a lot of people did side with Joel, and I agree with that. But then you can have the argument that, oh, since he loved his daughter so much, he was kind of selfish because everybody could have gotten that cure and it would have been nice. But here's the thing. We don't know if it was truly the cure. We don't know. And also, with The Last of Us 1's ending, there's a additional scene in Last of Us 1. I see a video where the guy didn't do anything to the surgery doctor, right? AKA Abby's father, right? But then if he didn't do anything, if Joel didn't do anything, the soldiers would have just came into the room and killed him right there. So Joel either had two options. It's either he killed the doctor, save Ellie, and then get the hell out of there, or he would have just waited and then they would have just shot him anyways. The soldiers would have just came into the room and just shot him anyways. So it's either he died right there in that hospital or he died later on when he's older. So it's just a no-brainer, which one is better for Joel. And honestly, this game, its ending, still blows my mind. After Joel rescues Ellie, right? He puts Ellie in the car because Ellie's, knocked out from the medication of surgery, right? But then Marlene comes, trying to get Ellie back, trying to convince Joel to give Ellie back. And then Joel just shot Marlene, and Marlene is just going there begging for her life, like, Joel, please, spare me. Joel, I'm not gonna lie, Joel is one of the coldest coldest people in gaming. Like, he's like, no, you're just gonna come after her. And then Joel shot Marlene dead, like, straight on. That was a headshot, bro. Like, that shit was so cold. Joel is one of the coldest dudes in gaming. And then after that, Ellie asked what happened. Of course, Joel lied. Joel definitely lied. He said that there turns out there's others that are like you. They didn't want to do the surgery. And then, you know, he said that people attacked the Firefly hospital, right? And then Ellie just, I don't know, Ellie might have some doubts, but at that moment, she bought it. And then while she was walking with Joel into the forest, into those little mountains, right? She asked if Joel was telling the truth. And, you know, Joel said, yeah, he was. But Joel lying. Joel wanted to lie to protect Ellie. He wanted to lie so that Ellie can have more life, or he can have more time with Ellie, so he can have more time with his daughter, basically. And I don't know, lies, they can be beautiful at times. And they say that the truth hurts. So at that moment, maybe Joel thought the truth might have hurt Ellie. But if you played Last of Us 2, you know, damn, it just goes crazy up in there. It just goes crazy. So yes, Last of Us 1, one of the best endings. This ending is so fantastic. The moment Joel just told that lie, it was a beautiful lie. He didn't want to hurt Ellie with the truth, but it's the player's just looking at this like, Joel, damn, you really did all that shit. He really did it. And honestly, I want to put some aspects of Last of Us 2 into this ending now that game is here. In Last of Us 2, Joel said that if God gave him a second chance, he would do it over again. Basically, like, shoot every Firefly in there in the hospital, and then kill the doctor, which is Abby's dad, and then try to take Ellie away from them again. Like, he'd do it again. That's how you know Joel is a very good father figure. Like, he'll do anything for his kid. That's crazy. And some backstory too. In Last of Us 2, Marlene wasn't really bad. Marlene wanted to ask Ellie, and maybe even Joel, if they wanted to go through with this. But Abby's dad, even though he probably didn't want to do it, he knows he has to. He has to prep Ellie for surgery, and he has to try to find the cure for the virus. So it makes a lot more better perspective. You know, Marlene wasn't really bad. She always cared for Ellie, you know, ever since she was like with her, right? Because she knew Ellie's mom and all that. If you look at the Last of Us TV show, she knew her. And then Ellie's mom was pregnant with Ellie, and then that's kind of how Ellie became immune to the virus. And shoot, bro, like, when you have all this context now, this is one of the best endings. Like, this ending, yeah, like, Joel honestly was selfish, but can you blame him? He did it for his daughter. If that was your son or that was your daughter, wouldn't you do the same thing? Wouldn't you want to save them? You don't want your kid to die, right? Like, it may not make sense to others, but since he's a parent, it makes all the sense that he would go through all that just to save a loved one, even if he only gets to live short moments, or even just a couple of years or 3 years with that loved one. I believe Joel thought, you know, that's what he's supposed to do. And oftentimes parents make the hardest decisions. So honestly, Last of Us 1's ending, wow. It's 2025. Last of Us 1 came out in 2013, and this ending still blew me away. Wow. Amazing. Last of Us 1. Watch the show, play the game. Last of Us 1, fantastic. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are happy. And then please, guys, take care of yourselves and have a great one.